made it worldwide to all of our troops, and it made it to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. This is basically that the military is not to engage civilians, period. It's in the field manuals and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Yeah, I listened.
They all have agreed to this. Some 80+% of the military agrees to this. Okay, number two, were something untoward, something nasty, and I'll say it, it's called martial law. They're coming to get you. 99% of them said they'd go AWOL as soon as that was declared. To include overseas, they already have means to get an airplane ticket home.
I need Lady Dragon's exact site again. We're typing it wrong.
Okay. Grammy J, we can hear you.
I'm sorry.
Is that ladydragon.com?
www.ladydragon.com.
I believe so. Lady Dragon?
Yes, it is that. Ladydragon.com. Yes.
There you go, Grammy.
Bless you. Thank you.
Okay, now, here we have some people that I've dealt with before that have been on here that know me fairly well. They also know that I'm not a fool. They also know that I do my homework were I to come up with anything as extraordinary as what I put on this show tonight. For that reason, I feel confident in what I've offered for varying reasons. One is that parts of it comes from different points of view of the people involved in it. We, the people, want our freedom. That's in there. We need to have financial freedom, not only for us, but for the country. That's in there. Then we want to see these advanced technologies and the reduction of wasted talent with no jobs. And that's in there. Those are the three basic items. The other thing is that for the first time, there may be the option of doing a peaceful transition from what we got now to what things should have been, as I've stated before. So these are the considerations. It's not difficult. These things will be listed on that page, and everybody has a yes or no. And the more people, the better. But mostly, the people I'm most interested in involving in this is the militias and the freedom movement. And I do mean all of y'all. If you got to go borrow a computer, have somebody help you do it, that's fine, but do so. We need to hear your voice. Not only do we need to hear your voice, but those other people involved. That's the people that have the collateral accounts and the bankers. They need to know that they might just skate with their lives. Depends on which ones, but most of them, yes. And like I said, these some of these ideas ain't mine. They come from the banking families themselves. These are the people that own the Federal Reserve. They're up against the wall. They don't have a choice, and they would like to be able to survive it instead of having an all-out shooting war.
May I answer my question? I sure appreciate it. And I've been a follower of yours for a long time, so I just got to convince some of these other people that what's going on and get them in there to get them to vote.
Well, I just want to make sure that I'm not being asked to vote for something that I can't read, because it sounds too much like what Obama asked the Congress to do with Obamacare.
They can read it.
Quit it. First of all, I ain't the right color, and my ears ain't that big, so, no. Secondly, I'm going to see whether Lady Dragon can't post the history of NESARA that I have. I got a copy of that somewhere in my computer that I will try to send to her. So if you want to read it, it should be available there. If not there, just simply do a computer search, history of NESARA, and it should come up. It goes all the way back into the 1800s. It's a very real deal, and it's pretty concise in what it states and what it does. It disallows most of what's been done financially.
Are you showing both NESARAs, Drake, or just one?
I'm only showing the real deal. And the only close copy that I have found is the history of NESARA. The one that is incorrect is the one that's out and about right now. This is the one the government would like to have because it continues, okay, and I want you everybody to, hang on that word. It continues the mess that we already got.
Drake, are we going to go back to the gold standard?
It's going to be a complex financial system. It's not going to be simply precious metals. It's going to be a combination of things.
But it will be asset-based, right?
It's a yes and no, both in combination.
Okay, well, let me ask you, are they still planning on the revaluation of all the currencies?
Well, that may or may not be necessary, depending on what it is that we decide by this vote and whether or not it's acceptable. We may be able to continue to some extent with what we have.
Okay.
Okay, so we may not have an RV of the dinar then.
Well, no, I didn't say that. There have been some personal investment of revaluations happening here and there already. So you never know. Now, there's a goodness era. That's National Economic Security and Reformation Act. And the bad one, which is out and about, National Economic Stabilization and Recovery Act. That's a continuation of what we got now. This is what we want to get away from.
I have to provide a copy of that and let people judge for themselves if that's a continuation of what we have now, because it isn't.
Yeah, well, okay.
Okay, I've got
Drake,
a question.
are we going to have the fines and penalty packages?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not aware one way or the other on that because I've been concentrating on this.
Okay.
It'd be nice to know that one.
All right,
Drake, and it would also be it would be nice to know if those are actually of any real value and whether or not they really contain what they say they do.
Oh, okay.
Drake,
if I may add something too. In the past, there have been the banksters getting them together from all around the world, and they do a currency revaluation. Okay, we're going to call this, and this, that. They've happened in the 70s and the 80s. I can't remember it, but there's so much in my junk in my brain, I can't remember any of it anymore. But the bottom line is that all currencies will find their own natural state. Like, for instance, right now, in different countries, there's the official exchange rate, and then you can go onto the black market and find out, oh, this currency is worth more than that. So there is a natural revaluation of currencies in a free market.
Okay. I've got a question, Drake.
Drake, may I ask a question?
Hold on a minute. We got one coming, and then you're next.
Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Okay, now, if these guys are serious about being willing to work a compromise, what are they willing to give up as a show of good faith? I think that the general public has been lied to, has been manipulated and controlled for long enough that we're obviously skeptical of making a deal with the devil. And yes, I will use that term because they have been for centuries the devil. Okay, what are they willing to give up as a show of good faith to prove to us that they are willing to work with us?
Okay, that's something that will be a part of the offering of this as a possibility. That's what this is. This goes directly to the principles involved. And if they are basically willing to abide by what's in here, then it's not a matter of trust. It's a matter of not being able to do what they have done ever again.
Okay. All right. Now that's
that's
question.
Basically what the set is of this.
Okay. Thank you, Drake. Now, next question. Go ahead.
Hello. I'd like to ask about the if the chemtrails, the fluoridated water being removed from public water supplies, the GMO labeling, Monsanto. Are these questions that can be used in on this poll? And also, I'm very concerned about the return of treaty land to the original nations of indigenous people on this continent, and I wonder where that fits into this whole picture.
Okay. The things that are adverse to the better health of both us and the environment will be done away with. That's first. That should answer most of the questions on chemtrails and water additives and things of that nature.
How soon can they get rid of them? That'd be a good show of good faith.
Well, okay. Yeah. The reason that this is being offered is to see how real these people are. I want everybody to kind of understand that. They have intimated to certain of my personal contacts that they are serious about this. Now, one of the things that they don't want is to be looking out the window and having all the torches coming toward the castle. A lot of the people that are involved in militias, freedom groups, etc., are experienced military. We know how to be ghosts in the woods, and they don't want that. Surprise attack would decimate them, and they know this. We do know where they live, and they don't have a battalion of men around their house, believe me. The simplistic part of this is that they first came to us after certain actions were taken. By us, I'm going to include personal contacts. That makes a big difference. The fact that they know that they are in trouble, big time, and the fact that they would like to rectify things, this is part of what they said, in such a manner that there can be a peaceful transition to a better system overall, means that, first of all, their finances have been cut off. Neil Keenan did that with his lawsuit. Secondly, they are up against what's called the Eastern Alliance, which is all of the unaligned nations. Everything outside of about the G8 are now can stand opposed to them because they have their own banking system. So what you've got is a situation where it's a win-win primarily for us in terms of these specific points. Now, these specific points are only bargaining chips. The results of the poll gives weight to what the people believe, how they feel about these things, and if they want them or not. So we have other bargaining leverage that these people have not come up against yet that they are not fully aware of. Now, I gave that at the beginning of the show. And this is from a independent source close to Mr. Keenan, who holds the legal lawful rights to the control of the collateral accounts. And I do mean all of them. He gave me a tip that Mr. Keenan was thinking about withdrawing his lawsuit and refiling it with the backing of all of Asia, all of the secret societies and families involved in the collateral accounts. This means you're going to have about 20, 30 nations that are going to say, okay, dude, your stuff's up. Here's how it is. And they know this is coming, and this is why they're looking at surrendering. They would like to keep a little bit of what they've stolen over the years. And if they're willing to help rectify this, and they're not willing to shoot at us in the process, and are, held to these legalities. NESARA is an act. It is a legality. The release of the technologies is the icing on the cake. But going back to the founding documentation, this means we're a free people.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm curious. Before we were talking about news and TV and television and having all the information put out there of the bad guys doing who was doing what and having them prance across in front of the TV and just really letting everybody know exactly what has been done to them. Is that still going to happen so that we can identify people? I don't trust them.
Okay. Everybody is going to come out in the open fully, and that includes me. The basic of this is